I'm always collecting thriving thoughts, things that help me experience life a little bit better and not suffer so much through it because of how I'm thinking about things. So often I've made life harder than it needs to be because of just how I was thinking about it. And today, when I was out in the garden harvesting cucumbers and green beans, I had another thriving hot thought that I want to share with you today.
Hi, I'm Jessica Jackson, and this is the new way to thrive in motherhood by leaning into who you are, what you love, your unique family situation, and personal mission to create a life that you actually want to live. I want to invite you to join me in saying no to the life of the exhausted supermom, burnout, victim thinking, being pulled in so many directions, suffering through survival mode, or being lost in motherhood, and say yes to building strong families and moving forward on our greatest goals in order to create a fulfilling life that we are excited to wake up to each day and become a soaring mother. This is the Thriving in Motherhood podcast.
I want to invite you to check out the 5-step path from surviving to thriving checklist. This is a value-packed 2-page document that I created from my own experience of a decade of going up and down this path of going from complete survival mode, clawing my way out, working my way to thriving. I noticed this pattern. I realized there were certain things I could do to make each phase along the path easier. And so I've put it into this document for you so you can get there way faster than I did. And you can get it today at thrivinginmotherhoodpodcast.com/checklist. When I was out harvesting cucumbers this morning and green beans, I was amazed at how I walked out and just saw this like tangle of vines on the cucumbers going up over the archway. It just looked kind of messy, to be honest. It looks really cool, but it's also really messy. We've got some that are vining along the ground and along the path and on, across the 4x8 garden boxes. And then the green beans are like just a mess. Like they're bush beans, and I didn't do anything to support them or trellis them because you don't technically have to, but they are just, they're falling all over themselves. And at first glance, when you look at the green beans and the bush beans, you just see growth, like lots of green growth. And it is incredible to me that when you slow down, and I bring my kids because they're really good at this, and we'll go over an area 3, 4, 5 times, and we will still be finding under the leaves green beans and cucumbers. There's so many of them. Today we harvested 17 cucumbers from 3 plants, and we harvested a ginormous colander full of green beans. But it took a while, and we had to slow down, and many of us went over the area multiple times, and we'd find another one and another one and another one. And I realized that in these hard seasons, or even these good seasons, that requiring a lot of us, that require a lot of effort, that require a lot of input, which growing these plants do. I'm out every night watering them because it's over almost 100 degrees during the day. It's so hot, and they require water, and they require the sun, and they require care, and me taking the bugs off them, right? Like I'm spending a lot of effort trying to grow these plants. And it's the same things in our lives, right? We're trying to invest in the relationship with our kids. You might be trying to solve problems with your schooling situation. You might be trying to figure out how to declutter your home or create these systems or clean your house or figure out how to work on the things that you care about or start a side hustle or work from home and balance that connection with your kids and also the relationship with your spouse, right? All of these things, they take effort, and there's progress and there's growth. But it's not until we start to look for the fruit that we find it, right? Like I can go look at those cucumbers all day long. I can keep taking care of them, and all I will see is a messy tangle of vines until I hunt for the fruit. And it's the same thing for us. Until we slow down, like we might see our to-do list getting checked off. We might see progress with the house getting decluttered. But until we slow down and take time to look at the fruit of our efforts, to celebrate, to enjoy it, to savor it, we miss it. And that's where we can start to feel really exhausted, like we're on this never-ending treadmill, because guess what? It doesn't stop. So until we take the time to slow down and celebrate, we're just going to miss it. And so this is why doing a monthly review is so powerful, because when you take time to stop and you review the last 30 days and you celebrate what you've learned, what you've discovered, the places that you've gone, significant things for your family, books you've read, podcasts you've listened to, things you've accomplished, places you've gone. You start to see the fruit of your effort. You start to see the progress. You start to see more than just checking things off, and you see the great efforts that you have made, and you get to enjoy them for a minute. or an hour, and you share them, celebrate them, tell your kids, don't do this in a vacuum, model this for them, celebrate with them. They want to celebrate with you. So many people struggle with mom guilt. And it's because we live these lives in part like away from our kids, like they're secret. All these things we're doing, we have to hide from our kids. No. Your kids want to celebrate with you. They want to support you. They want to know what you care about. They want to know what you're working on. They want to know what you're learning. And so, and you do the same for them, right? It's a relationship, not just one way, right? We can teach and share these things around the dinner table. It can be fun and exciting. We clap and cheer for each other. I don't even have to ask. They just celebrate me. So anyway, but it's really fun. And they're proud. They're excited to tell people about the things that I'm doing. And your kids are going to be excited to tell people the things that you're doing. Okay? It matters and they value it. And so, and they want to enjoy the fruit too. They want to celebrate the good efforts too, right? It feels good to see the progress for everybody. And so this is what we do in Soaring Mother Society every month. We gather together and we go through these reviews together. And it's this thing that brings the most progress and momentum in our lives. Now, it's just like the garden. If every year, I went and I planted all these cucumbers and I didn't get any fruit from it, how many years do you think I'm going to keep planting cucumbers? Not very many, right? Or if I put all this effort into growing my green beans and I never take time to pick them, how many years do you think I want to keep growing those green beans? Not very many, right? It's just not worth it. And the same thing is going to happen to us. If we don't take time to slow down and celebrate, you think you can keep that momentum and effort just muscling through? No, you're going to be exhausted and burned out and weary and not want to keep going. And so I know this, by the way. I've experienced this. This is my experience speaking, but it's very true. And I've watched it too. I've watched so many of you go through this process. But on the other hand, if we eat tons of cucumbers this year, do you think we're going to be super excited to plant them yet next year? You bet. Like, we had a huge harvest last year. It was thrilling. We're so excited to plant them this year. I experimented with the green beans. This year was the first year we've done it. We were getting a huge harvest. Who's going to be excited to plant green beans? Not just me, kids too. Like, we're going to be planting green beans. They grow great here. And so I'm going to do it again. And it's the same thing for you. You look at 30 days, you see the progress you made. Guess who's going to be ready to plant out the next month with some excitement, with some enthusiasm, with a little bit of skip in your step? It's going to be awesome. So whether you do this in your notebook, whether you do it in the Thriving in Mother Planner, whether you do it by yourself, or whether you join us in Soaring Mother Society, I just want to encourage you to slow down and remember to look for the fruit. Look for the magical things. Look for the accomplishments, the good things that are coming because of your efforts, because of your growth. And it doesn't just have to be the accomplishments. Look at how you're changing. Look at how your character's developing. Look at how you're increasing in patience or in love and in wisdom or in connection with God or in kindness with your kids or having fun together or laughing easier. Like, look for these things because they are so significant. It's this growth. It's this change. That's what it's all about. And so I just really want to encourage you. We're ending summer. We're starting the school year. This is the perfect time to pause. I don't care what day of the month it is. I don't care how long it's been since you've done this. Today is a perfect day to just pause and look for the fruit in your own life and enjoy it a little bit. Let me know in the comments below if you're watching on YouTube some of the fruit. Celebrate with us here in the comments and tell us some of the fruit in your own life that you are seeing. We want to celebrate that with you. So have a wonderful week. I'll talk to you next week.
Where you are planted, watch the blossoms grow.